Hello all, Mike with Man Bluff and doing something a little bit different. I've got a sealed going on. I'm couple of reasons, performing better in these than I have been in drafts, and pretty much at least breaking even, if not ahead. So one, I'm liking them better that way. Two, I'm having a lot more fun. And three, there's going to be a GP up in Sacramento in the beginning, midway through January, and maybe get some practice going on. So I'm bringing that to you. Also, last thing, pardon my nasal soundingness. A little bit under the weather, but hopefully it doesn't get all into the way. Let's go by rares. Oh, a crone horse, I love it. Nonetheless, I've heard some differing opinions. I kind of like going by rarity here. I think it's, see what you got to work with in terms of the good stuff. I like the horse. Ty Merritt is pretty sweet. If you can get the right kind of deck for it. Bolus Crushers, that guy's just awesome. I love myself a 4/4 Trampler for 4. And Thusa, not particularly exciting, but you can get some things that happen with that green heroic thing. 2/2, 3 other surprise 2/2 attackers is a thing, or even blockers when you don't need them on. Biden is pretty sweet. And a crone horse, the more I play with this card, the more I just love it. It's just awesome. Oddly enough, right? It just gives you 1/1s, but still, 1/1s are cool. But nonetheless, maybe green red, if I can get there. I don't care about the Fire Drinker Satyr at all whatsoever. In fact, almost in limited, unless I've drafted the heroic deck, the red-white heroic deck, but otherwise it's not particularly exciting. Maybe get an aggressive, by aggressive I mean not so aggressive, red-green, with some crone horse, get there. Well, let's go by color now. I like doing that and seeing what I've got. My eyes just immediately go to green because I really like green. White looking pretty good too, though, but I want to go with green first. It looks just, based on size, it looks like it might be the deepest. Nemesis is good start. Enthusiast, Asp, always good. Staunch Heart, 2 time defeats, that's really good. Presence, I'll play it as my 23rd. It cycles, and hey, maybe I get some things happen. 2-leaf Crown Dryad is also really good, and a Voyaging Satyr. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet for green, and being 11 cards, yeah, that looks really awesome. Pardon me. But let's see what else we got. I've got the Bolus Crusher, so I'll play that. Maybe you got some pretty sweet red. Coordinated Assault. I've got some heroic things. The Staunch Heart, the Anthusa, which is pretty sweet. Titan Strength, sure. Ordeal, not particularly excited, and in fact, my red kind of blows. So that is unfortunate. Sorry, Bolus Crusher, probably not going to be playing you. I do have the Nylea's Presence, so maybe a splash happens. But whoa, if I had those things, that would make it work. Let's see if let's go by color. Piles by color. Let's cut this green for just a second and see if I just have the nut red-white heroic deck. Favorite Hoplight's good. Snarecaster is good. That. Wingsteed Rider's pretty sweet. Evangel is really good too. I don't necessarily have that nut deck either. I'm not gonna play 17 cards and 23 lands because that would be on point terrible. But it kind of had the makings. The favorite Hoplight's pretty sweet, but it doesn't look like I have that awesome heroic deck. And in fact, unless I just want to be playing these and Divine Verdicts and multiple arrays, that deck's just not going to cut it. It's, red is kind of lacking. So let's go by color again. My white is pretty good, but let's unfortunately hide this red because I am not going to be playing that. Next thing to look at, white's pretty sweet, so we'll keep that over here. These are things to keep notice of. I'm not particularly excited about the Balefuls. Cavern Lampid, Disciple. Yeah, black is not being played either. I don't have any of those really strong cards that want to put me in black. Well, let's take a look. Got a bunch of Ordeals, which is pretty sweet. Let's take a look at my blue. Coastline, Griptide, 2 Prescience, one foil. That's pretty sweet. But nothing just particularly strong, which is unfortunate. Let's go. I mean, Voyage End. I have a Voyage End, Griptide, and Bite, which are sweet, but there's nothing that's just whoa. Those cards are really awesome. So it looks like I might not be playing blue. You know, things to know. It might have something that's splash worthy. You know, maybe it gets there. I'm liking this white so far, but green just looks like it's the strongest overall, which is good. I like when my strongest color is green. What else do we got that I might want to be playing? Burnished Heart, I could see that, and a unicorn. Well, I like the horse. The horse is really good, and it'll allow me to get in, especially with this, you know, the shapings of this kind of deck. But, you know, let's look at green-white. Maybe that is a thing. These Wardens aren't particularly exciting. The Wingsteed Rider is, though. An Observant Alciad. Traveling Philosopher, sure. God's Willing is good. Favorite Hoplite, if I can target it, even later on, I have a bunch of ways to target it. It could be pretty okay. And, yeah, not particularly exciting either. Well, I could see myself also playing this Foolish Crusher on the splash. You know, with a Burnished Heart, a Nylea's Presence. You know, just getting there. That being said, I can multiple types of splashes. I can splash the Voyage End Griptide and the Foolish Crusher if I want to be super greedy, considering I have Burnished Heart, Nylea's Presence, Voyaging Satyr, and Opaline Unicorn if I want it. The double blue on the Biden is a little too greedy, even for myself. So I don't think I'll be going there. Let's convert mana cost. This double white kind of hurts, but you know it's pretty good. So what do I got? Like green white heroic, kind of. Just green white good things with a Foolish Crusher, a Griptide Voyage End, and an Opaline Unicorn. At this point, I would have to make a couple cuts. The cuts being maybe this Evangel. It's not going to provide too much. Crone Horse is going to enable me to kind of stave off a little bit. 2 time defeats are actually really quite good, given what I'm going to want to do. That being said, maybe I just want another 2-drop, even though it's a Bronze Sable. None of these red cards are good enough or splash worthy. Leonin Snarecaster's not exciting in this type of deck. So wait, worst case scenario, this provides me this and 2 1/1s, which I might just overload with that kind of thing here. So the question is, I have to make 2 cuts. What are these cuts going to be? Pardon me again. Foolish Crusher I think is just really good, and I could justify the splash on it considering I do have Burnished Heart, Unicorn, and Nylea's Presence. So I think I'm okay. I think I am okay here, especially even with the 2 Griptides. Yeah, greed is a good thing, and why not go all out when you can? I do have enough ways to target Anthusa to make Anthusa pretty sweet. 2 time defeats. Same thing with the Staunch-Hearted Warrior, so I'm not too worried. So this is how many blue sources do I have? 1, 2, 3 blue sources and 3 red sources, which is pretty good. Pretty decent actually. So the question is, I think I've settled on just about the right kind of build. I have other things that I might want to do. Feral Invocation I'm not particularly excited about. 5 drops are, Anthusa, Nessian are good. The Fairies Band's not particularly exciting. I have Rays that I can bring in if I do end up needing them. Silent Artisan is actually only good because of Evangel, but I'm not bringing it in for that reason. My red's terrible, and so is my black. So I have to make 2 cuts. I don't know what the 2 cuts would be. I could just not be greedy and have my cuts be Voyaging cut, either Foolish Crusher or Griptide Voyaging in. I I could cut the Evangel, even though it will provide bodies later on. But what kind? What? No, I think the cut's probably Favored Hoplite. I know Favored Hoplite's really good, and I do have ways to target it, but the odds of me getting one drop going forward, I don't know if it's necessarily that. If it's necessarily going to happen that way. Even though Favored Hoplite would be pretty sweet. Where did the Favored Hoplite go? Let's sort by color again. Kind of torn. I don't know if I can get away with a Favored Hoplite. If I do bestow it, then it gets pretty big and I can start attacking. What are my best cards? I think I want the Divine Verdict. I'm gonna need. I do have the 2, so the 3. My removal spells are pretty decent. I'm gonna want those. God's Willing's just pretty good, pretty solid all the time. Nylea's Presence if I do want to be super greedy. Or, you know, Evangel's good, but like I said, I don't have too many white permanents to make it great. I think that might be a cut. And at 23, with potentially being back at 24 with the Favored Hoplite. And I do have my multiple sources of, you know, 3 sources of blue and 3 sources of red. I could just, like I said, not be greedy and not play Polis Crusher. I think Polis Crusher is pretty sweet though. I mean, do I really want to do the double splash? Do I need the double splash? Polis Crusher is just that good. No, I think it's will significantly hurt my mana enough, and I have big enough creatures where I can cut the Polish Crusher. I do think Riptide Voyage End is going to be better. I'll play the Favored Hoplite because I do have enough ways to trigger it to make it decent enough even later on. And who knows, I might be able to go turn one Favored Hoplite, and you know that'll be a pretty big game. I think I can get away with playing 1 blue source with Nylea's. So one island. I've got Burnished Heart, Nylea's Presence, Opaline Unicorn in order to even potentially ramp me out into these things. So I think the 1 blue will be good. So that'll make 1 with the blue, 2, 3, 3.5 sources. If I can, you know, fetch it with the Opaline Unicorn. Let's do this. That seems okay to me. It's not really even a creature. Yeah, that seems pretty good, actually. I think I can justifiably get away with that. But I'm so tempted to be greedy. Ugh. Well, if we see, well, I guess there's a lot of enchantments. I mean, no, I think this build is appropriate. I think being too greedy is going to end up hurting me a little bit, and I can more reliably get to these things. I think this is a solid enough build. 1 blue, like I said, that gives me 3.5 blue sources. So yeah, like I said, 1, 2 with the blue, 3.5. That seems enough to be able to play the Voyage End Griptide, and because I do want to hit these, you know, turn 1. So let's see what Moto says I should have in terms of land. Suggest 3 blue sources. Well, good thing I kind of have that. This could be wrong. I could maybe want to have 2 blue, but I think I'm not going to be using these in the early game. So the late game is where they're going to shine, and by, you know, turn 6 or 7 or so, I should have 1 blue source. Because if I have 3.5 by turn 6, I've seen ideally, if I'm on the play, I've seen 7 plus 5 cards, 13 cards, 13 out of 4th of my deck, and I have slightly more than that in terms of blue sources. Yeah, I think by that time I'll have seen a blue source. Plus, I do have to see the 2 cards as well, so I think that's doable. So 9, 8. I do have double white. I also have double greens. Is it correct to go 9, 8 this way? This makes 16, 17. You kind of cases where my double white is sooner. I do want turn 1 green. But I think no, I'm not gonna risk it. I'll go with the 9. It's, Wingsteed Rider is gonna be a little bit better if I can get it turn 3, but I think having it like this is good. 18 lands. I don't want 18 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No. I was playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, oh crap, the island. Okay, so made it easy. 8, 8, 1. I will see you in round 1. We know the kind of things that I have a sideboard tactics. Did I see a trait? I don't have a trait tactics. I saw Triton. If I think Evangel will be good, if for whatever reason I need to splash this, or I don't know, lots of hexproof things where Voyage and Griptide aren't good. If I feel I need more 2-drops, Guardians, I don't want to play it, but I will if I have to. And then white, I've got a couple rays. I could honestly even see myself main decking that, but given what I've got here, I think I'm going to be pretty decent. So, and be able to trigger these kind of things a fair amount of times. So, see you in round 1.